In this video we'll be going over using the ref and out keywords with array parameters. So in the last lab we passed an array as an argument to a method, so you saw that the method has direct access to the array through its parameter variable. However, the method cannot access the original reference variable that was used to pass the array. So in this lab we'll show how to use the ref and out keyword to do what we couldn't do last time. So we'll just do the exact same thing. So let's define a list box here. So we'll just say list box. So let's create an object reference variable here. We'll create a button object reference variable as well. So we'll say private button. Then in the constructor, I think there's a method here that I accidentally erased. One sec, my bad. What do we have in here before? Initialize component. Okay, that's what it's called. So let me just delete that. So make sure you keep this method here in the constructor. It's called initialize component. So we'll just keep that there. I'll take this method out. Take this method out. Okay, so we have a private list box. Actually, yeah, so we'll call this one output list box, and then private button. We'll just do those again. So we have private list box, output list box. It's an object reference variable. Then here we'll have a private list box button. Actually, sorry, we'll call this one go button. In the constructor here we'll say output list box points to new list box, and then go button points to new button. And then we can create, so we'll create some identifiers for the variables. So here we'll say output list box dot name points to the string output list box. And here we'll have go button dot name points to go button as a string. Okay, so let's just add a few more properties, and let's just call a few more. Yeah, so basically let's just set a few more properties here. So we want the list box to be a certain size. So we can go with here. We can say output list box dot size points to new size. We could just give it a size. So we'll just go with 200 by 200. We could also add, so for the button we can add some more properties for it. So we can say go button dot size points to for example new size. We can pass in like 100 by 100 here. We can say go button dot auto size sets to true. Set it to true. So I need to, no, that's fine. We can set the text, so go button dot text sets to the string go. So we can set the text of the button to go. Let's just see what else we have here as well. So we have that, so we'll have to create an event handler for the button. So we'll say go button plus equals, actually sorry, go button dot click plus equals new event handler. Then here we'll say we'll pass in go button underscore click. Then below the constructor we'll have another, so we'll define the event handler here. So we'll say private void go button underscore click, takes parameter object sender comma event args e. Let me just check that one. So we have our button here. Sorry, so I have, there's an error, so let me just check that. What line is that? It's on 22, okay. Sorry, I call this a list box, so we'll just go back up here for a sec. So we'll change that to private button, go button. Instead of private list box, go button. Alright, so now we have our namespace. Make sure we didn't take that out. Then we have our class. Might be missing a square bracket there. Okay. So we have here go button dot click plus equals new event handler. Then here we're passing in go button underscore click. Okay, so in this, let's just go back to the event handler now, so we'll start that. Actually, so let's just do a few more things, so let's just add this to the form. So here we can say output list box. Actually, let's put it on the form first. So here we'll say output list box dot location points to new point, and we'll pass in so a place, an x and y point. So here we'll say, for example, so y goes up and down and x goes left and right on a graph. So first for x, and let's just say, for example, 50. We'll put it by maybe 50 up as well. We'll just try that. Actually, let's go with 100 by 100. Then we'll go controls.add, and we'll pass in the output list box. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for the button. So here we'll say go button dot location points a new point, and then we'll go with 100 by 300, or let's just try that. Then here we'll say controls.add go button. For the list box, let's create a font actually, just to make the size a bit bigger. Actually, we could do that for both. So here we could say output list box dot font points to new font, and we'll pass in. So actually, sorry, we'll reference output list box here in the parameter. This one's a bit tricky, so output list box dot font so it's a method chain. So here, output listbox.font and then dot font family. And then so it's like another parameter after that. So we'll just pass in a size here. So we'll just try that to start. I'll pass in 20. And we'll do the same thing for the button. Actually, probably should have put that font above the location. It's okay, so that's fine. So we'll go down to the button properties here, and then we'll have we'll just say go button dot font, points a new font, pass in go button as a parameter, then a method chain, so dot font family, comma, then pass in 20 as a size. That's pretty fine. So let's just save that and run it and just see how the form looks. We'll do a tutorial on using layouts soon. So we'll do that soon. It'll take a long time to do a layout because you have to instantiate a bunch of rows and columns and then pick which layout that you want. Then you have to then add the controls to the column, so it takes a bit longer to do that. Okay, so it looks fine. Actually, it looks okay. So we have our button and then our list box. So we'll stop that, and then we'll go to the event handler. So let's do the code for the event handler. Okay, so the event handler is going to take a local array. So we'll say int array. We'll just call this vals points to. Then we'll have here whatever, just some random numbers. So I'll just add like 3 random numbers. So I just have 1, 2, 3. So remember, we're going to use the initialization list for the array. So here I have 1, 2, 3, comma, space, 3, 4, 5, comma, space, 0, 9, 8. So just 3 numbers. We'll display the the val array's contents. We'll say output listbox dot items dot add. So here actually first we'll add just a string in the list box. So we'll say the array's starting elements. Then here we'll have a for each loop. So we'll say int val in vals. And we'll say output listbox dot items dot add. And we'll reference val. We'll pass in val as a parameter to the add method. So this is like a property chain with a method chain. We'll have to define a method here because we're gonna call here we're gonna call change array. So change array, and then we'll pass in the vals array, but it's not going to know what that is, so I'm just going to comment this out for a sec. We'll go below the event handler. We'll define another method here, so we'll say private void change array. We'll pass in so this will take a parameter int array. We'll define a constant size here, so we'll say const int new size. So we're going to allocate a new size to the array, so it's going to create more memory. So constant int new size, we'll say points to 5. And here we'll say I array, which is just like int array. Let's just change to int. Is that going to cause a problem? Sorry, let me just check. I think the parameters name is supposed to be changed, so let's change that to int array instead. So int array now points to we're gonna instantiate an array here. So int array points to new, int array points to new int. We'll pass in new size for the size. So it'll allocate this many blocks of memory to the array, so five indexes. And we'll loop through the array here. Just using a normal for loop, so we'll say for int I points to 0, I is less than int array dot length I plus plus. And we'll say int array of array index I points to, we could just fill this with, like, for example, zeros. Okay, so we'll go back to where we called that method call. We'll take the comments out. And we'll have another for each loop underneath. We'll say for each inval invals. We'll say output listbox dot items dot add. We'll pass in val. And that should be it. So let's just save it and then run it and see what happens. So it should be able to change the values now. It should be able to, so it's going to reference the first array and allocate new memory blocks to the array. I'm just going to check if I missed something here. Actually, sorry, I might have, actually, did we just, I think we actually already did this one. So let's just go down. So we're going to use the ref and out keyword now. Alright, so we have, let's just change a few things here. So in the change array method, we're gonna edit that method and change something here. Okay, so we're gonna pass in, so for private void change array, that wasn't able to change the value, so here we'll say, we'll add the ref keyword before the int array. So we'll say private void change array, and we'll take parameter ref int array. So we have to use the ref keyword. So we just have our constant new size, int array points a new size, int array points a new int, passing a new size. We'll loop through for I points to 0, I is less than int array dot length I plus plus, and we'll say int array of array index points to 0. Let me just check the rest of that as well. So we have our go button dot click, our array here, initialization list. And then we have, so we have our for each. I think something's missing, so let's just check that. So we have int array vals with our initialization list, and we have for each int val in vals. We reference our listbox output listbox.items.add. Okay, sorry, for this, I think it's here, change array, we have to pass in ref right here. That should work. So we're calling in, we're having a method call here. We're calling change array and we're passing in ref and then our array name vals. Let's try that. Okay, so there, so as you can see, the values were, it was able to allocate a new size to the array. So initially we had the size of, so when we instantiated the vals array the first time here with the initialization list, it was able to allocate 3 blocks of memory to the array for 3 indexes. So then we called change. So after we looped through and we added the items to the list box, then we called the method change array. So then it took an array with the ref keyword. Then we were able, as a parameter, and we passed it the vals array. Then we passed it a new size because before the size was 3, now we passed it 5. So here we have, we're calling the int array points a new int. Then we're passing it the new size. So it's basically using the old object reference variable to instantiate a new array, basically with a new block of memory. Then we were able to change all the values to 0. So that's pretty much it. So let's just, there's a bit more of a description. So the int array parameter is declared with the ref keyword. And then the ref keyword is used to pass int array as an argument to the, actually what do we call it first? We called it vals. So we called the array vals up here. So the vals array, and in this array we called it int array. We could have just named them the same thing to make it easier, but in this case we have different names. So the ref keyword is used to pass the vals array as an argument to the change array method. In this code, the int array parameter refers to the vals variable. Anything that is done to the int array parameter is actually done to the vals variable. So then that's pretty much it. So we had a 3-element int array. So we created an int array with 3 elements. Then we called change array, passing in ref vals. Is that what we did here? Yes, we're passing it our old array. And then it was able to instantiate 5 blocks of memory instead of 3. That's it. So when the user clicks the go button, it processes the arrays and instantiates new blocks of memory, increasing the size from 3 to 5. And then it changes all the values to 0. So that's pretty much it. So in the next video we'll be going over we'll do a few data structures examples for C# arrays. So we'll do, I've done these in Java already, so if you're interested you can check those out. This is just a quick, we're just going to go through some sorting and searching algorithms using arrays. It's usually like the first chapter in a data structures class. But arrays are a data structure, so we'll just do some of those. We've done those in the notes, but we'll do some labs. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video, we'll be doing some data structures, searches, and array algorithms. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care. Thanks.